Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric series on the MiSTer FPGA DE10 Nano project, more specifically in this instance, Taki Udon's MiSTer Pi and the new SuperStation One console that is going to be up for pre-order this weekend. I told you guys I would do a video recapping all of the details and letting you know when the orders were going live, that way you didn't miss out on them, so that's what we're doing today. Before we get too far involved, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, I got a Patreon link down below as well. And if I sound a little bit off today, that is because I have had the flu since Monday. I'm currently rocking a 101.5 degree temperature, and I'm only being propped up by a massive amount of Red Bull and Dayquil at this point in time. But I told you I would let you know when the orders are going in and all of the final details on the SuperStation One, so I dragged myself into my studio to get this thing done. So before you comment down below I sound sick, that is because I am incredibly sick and I'm probably going to go pass out on the couch after we finish this one. But now we have all of the different details of when this is going to go up for order, everything about the dock that we need to know, and some more details are going to help you decide whether or not you want to pick one of these up. Because at the heart of it, it is still MiSTer FPGA, just MiSTer FPGA with some changes, trying to basically recreate the idea of a PlayStation 1 console, which definitely is a fun console for sure, and the original hardware is quite finicky when it comes to those lasers. Mine is definitely always having trouble reading discs no matter how many new lasers I throw at it. Definitely a console with an optical disc emulator is a lot better situation than trying to keep it reading real discs, and that's what Taki Udon is working on here with this company Retro Remake, and that is fun. And he said mark your calendars, you will see if you've already ordered a MiSTer Pi and you are a founder member, which is basically someone that already ordered the triple stack, the price is going to be $149.99, which is a highly competitive price point for everything you're getting inside of the box. And I definitely love to see MiSTer FPGA getting cheaper for more people, because it brings more people to the party, there's more core developers that have people to make cores for, and just overall it's going to help MiSTer FPGA grow. And you'll see here there is the pre-order time, 1/26/2025 at 10 a.m. Hong Kong time, or 1/25/2025 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can go ahead and convert that over to whatever time zone you're living in. That would be 8 o'clock on the 25th of in Chicago time. I did chat with Taki Udon. He's going to send me a review unit, so I'll be able to basically go over the entirety of the SuperStation One when it is available, showing you guys every single thing it's capable of. But honestly, everything is a green flag as far as this console is concerned. People are also asking about when a batch 3 MiSTer Pi order is going to be available, and that seems like it's going to be available slightly before the SuperStation One. So if you are looking just for the triple stack and don't want to go the consoleized route, that seems to be coming up as well. And when those orders are available, I'll at least send a tweet out to people that watch me, just in case you miss out on it, because I understand there's a lot of different things moving as far as the release dates are concerned. Sometimes you miss stuff and you're disappointed by it. Now, as far as the sales page and the overall price is concerned, he is building out the website, and right now it looks like he's trying to target $35 for the dock for those Founder Edition members, the people that bought MiSTer Pi first. If you've never bought anything as far as MiSTer Pi is concerned, you're looking at a price point of $225 for the SuperStation One, which is still a really good deal for everything it does, because don't forget, this is still just a MiSTer FPGA. It's going to run every single core you've seen on the channel, and there's just going to be a $5 pre-order for that Super Dock, because that seems like it's going to be coming later. And Taki stated that when it is available, you will get another email saying that you're going to be charged for the remainder of that actual deposit. And he even teased out some of the images of what the dock looks like. Obviously, it mirrors the design language of the SuperStation One in and of itself. If we take a closer look, you're going to see here, it just has the corner of that optical disk drive in the front. It's also going to have other USB ports on it as well. So it is going to expand more of the capabilities of what MiSTer FPGA can be in some different and interesting ways. And that's always fun, because honestly, the PlayStation 1 is such a great console, made better by something like MiSTer FPGA. If I want to play a PlayStation 1 game today, I'm either going to do it on MiSTer FPGA or DuckStation. It is highly unlikely I actually fire my original PlayStation 1 up at this point in time. So all of the fun you've had on something like MiSTer FPGA and PlayStation 1, the core that Robert FPGA ZoomSpots developed, is going to be coming over full fat to this SuperStation One with all of these different ports, PlayStation ports, memory card ports, everything you would need to interact with this exactly how you want to. And that's always nice to see, getting extra options. And obviously with the MiSTer Pi triple stack being such an effective MiSTer FPGA, I have absolutely no worries that Taki Udon and his company can pull this off. It definitely seems like it is heading towards success, and I can't wait to actually review this thing. And as far as other details and questions, people are asking, when's the expected shipping time, and will it arrive sooner or later than the next next MiSTer Pi batch, and Taki Udon said not sooner. So we're definitely going to see a restock on the MiSTer Pi triple stack. So again, if that's all you want to get into the MiSTer FPGA ecosystem and you're waiting for that next batch to come around, it should be soon, and again, I will let you know when that happens. But Taki Udon also did an interview with Time Extension talking about some of the changes and some of the different things happening on the SuperStation One which aren't mainline MiSTer FPGA related, because again, don't forget, disk reading is not something MiSTer FPGA can do. Cart reading is not something MiSTer FPGA can do. It was never built into the design philosophy as to what MiSTer FPGA was supposed to be. But he talks about all of the different triple stacks and how incorporating all of the different hardware onto a new PCB that still has the same Cycle and V processor gives you a cleaner design, like a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth dongle actually being built into the motherboard, so you're not hanging a bunch of different dongles off of your MiSTer FPGA. And I know for some people that's something that they haven't cared for. They want that sleek, clean finish. For me personally, the triple stack has been what I've always used for the most part, and I've never had any issues with it. But I understand if you want to put this thing next to your television and have it just look like a console, the triple stack can be a little bit fiddly. And I also understand a lot of times you have a partner or spouse that maybe doesn't want a project board sitting in the living room, but a video game console is totally something acceptable to have next to your TV. So that is one of the things. It's basically replicating the functionality of what you would put onto a triple stack after you put a USB, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth dongle on it, with everything else you would need to make MiSTer FPGA, except it's going to be in a new PCB and a sleekly designed case that's going to look absolutely so nice next to your television in and of itself. So that is definitely a plus. Now he talks about the PlayStation 1 focus as well, and how it's going to be maybe slightly a fork as far as the UI and everything else is concerned, because again, they are trying to get the PlayStation 1 core and MiSTer FPGA to do things that are not in the mainline branch as far as the repos are concerned. And again, actual cart reading and actual disk reading have never been anything that have been prioritized on MiSTer FPGA. I know some people don't love that, but it's one of those things with the I/O and everything else, it is quite difficult. So I would assume all of the menus are going to look identical, but maybe you'll have a slightly different or slightly more cleaned up UI. A lot of people always want a pretty UI for MiSTer. It's never really bothered me that much, but I understand why people would want something like that. And now we start talking about original media on the SuperStation One. Taki Udon talks about maybe on the mainline branch having a situation where the disk is dumped when you put it in the first time into the actual SuperStation One to an SSD you install onto the dock in and of itself, or maybe if they do fork the core, it could work differently. So it is going to be one of those things you're going to be able to basically make it work the way you want. Is it one of those things where if you put the disk in and it dumps it, you're not quote-unquote playing on real media? That is up to you to decide how you want to actually think of that. But then he talks about different workarounds as far as how that CD is called back up, and in some situations, more authentic to real hardware, the changes would have to be forked because it wouldn't be acceptable by the main branch. And that is the thing about MiSTer. The main branch is pretty much locked down. You're not going to get CD reading on that anytime soon, just so every single MiSTer FPGA out there works exactly the same. Not forking that main branch 100 times has been a big benefit. So that's kind of the situation with the SuperStation One. We have the dates, we have the prices, we know that that dock is coming. Seems like it might come a little bit later than the SuperStation One, and we know it's going to allow for disk reading, disk dumping, and potentially with a fork actually reading the game off the disk in and of itself. But there are still more details to come, and I really hope Taki does make this translucent blue model right here. That would definitely be the one I would pick if I had my choice as far as colors are concerned. But again, I can't wait to actually review this thing, get it in front of my camera, get some glamour shots of it, and explain it all to you. And he also talks about other consoles in the future and the fact that SuperStation One is not locked down like an analog console, so you know you're going to be able to play every single core MiSTer FPGA offers. But that's the current situation with Taki Udon and his MiSTer FPGA clones, the SuperStation One. You know the date of when it's going to be available to order, and we got the video done even though that temperature of 101 degrees has me sweating like crazy in my office right now in front of the microphone. But this is definitely a very promising evolution of MiSTer FPGA, and when I have it in my hands, I will run a review and show each and every one of you. Short of that, we are done. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.